Why is Joseph Atwill considered the best New Testament scholar? Now, if one were to look at my channel to dive into all of my videos, it would appear that I'm some kind of Joseph Atwill fan, a fanatic. Like if you were to come to my house, you would find a statue and posters of Joseph Atwill, but that isn't the case. I do not worship every word that he writes. I don't agree with everything that he says and or writes, but I consider him to be the best New Testament scholar and always will be the best New Testament scholar. Why is that? Well, he isn't the first to write about the Roman origins of the Christian religion. That honor would go to Bruno Bauer, who wrote Christ and the Caesars. I already talked about this. I have a short video. I'll put a link in the description about Bruno Bauer. But the point I want to make and what I want everyone to know is that Joseph Atwill is the first to openly state that this religion was created as a joke. This religion was created to humiliate, pacify, and subjugate the Jews and captured Jews of Judea. I will repeat that statement. Again, Joseph Atwill is not the greatest because he just uncovered the Flavian origins. No, Joseph Atwill is the greatest because he's the first to openly state that the religion was created as a joke, specifically a joke on the Jews. This religion was created to show that Caesar is greater than the God of the Jews. Caesar is the God of the Jews, essentially. So, again, I said it's a joke. I mean, if let's say you took a Jew sometime in the first or second century and gave this Jew a copy of the Gospel of Mark. Upon reading, one of Jesus's disciples was Simon the Zealot. This person would bust out laughing. This is a joke. I mean, one of his followers is Simon the Zealot. Now, again, I've pointed out many times that this is dark humor, and it wasn't going back to Mark chapter 13. I did a video called Paradox Now, and I spent about 20 years of my life reading Mark chapter 13 and scratching my head, trying to figure out what the author meant by this apocalypse. Has it already happened? Is it going to happen in the future? Are there multiple apocalypses? But you look here at Mark chapter 13, verse 31, you have this speech. The speech ends with, "Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away." That's the end of the speech, the original speech, which talks about the chaos at the end of days and then Jesus as the Son of Man comes. But then you have verse 32, you have the beginning of another speech. It's not connected to the earlier speech. But about that day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven or the Son, but only the Father. Be on guard, be alert. Do not know when that time will come. Well, I always thought that was strange because obviously we know when the time will come if the stars are falling, if matter is disappearing, the world is becoming nothing. It's the end of the world. Obviously, we know the time when Jesus comes. So I always thought that was kind of strange, but now I realize after reading Atwill's work that this was created as a joke. The author is playing with the audience and playing with these Christians or the people who would become Christian and praise this religion or take on this religion. That this is really a joke. The authors are playing with the audience. It's really a joke. And of course, we have to thank Joseph Atwill because he's the first to really point this out, the dark comedic humor. Thank you for listening.